The theater beckons. All right, back from some more Inside Number 9. This time I'm talking about The Understudy, which I was a little bit nervous going into. Now, I mentioned in the last one that I thought we might be dealing with a bit of a reverse Star Trek films thing, was where the odd number ones are good and the even number ones are the bad ones. Now, I came into this is an odd number. I was like, oh, okay. But the thing is, a heck of a lot of commenters were like, oh, the next couple, meaning this one and the one after, aren't very good. You should just skip them. A few people flat out said that. So I went into this going, oh boy. Because at the very least, I seem to be in the vast minority for my particular distaste for Last Gasp. I'm sorry, not Last Gasp. Quiet Night In. Last Gasp, people don't seem to like all that much. But, you know, if I disliked one of the ones that's so beloved and everyone's saying this is a lousy one, oh God, what am I in for? And I liked it. I didn't love it. And I think the thing is that to make a comparison to some of the things I said about The Last Gasp, this is very predictable. There's the twist at the end is a little less telegraphed than Last Gasp was, but this is pretty boilerplate. You can see where this is going pretty much from the get-go. But I still enjoyed it, and I think it has to do with just because the subject matter appeals to me. I have tried my hand at acting. I've done theater, not at a professional level, but you know, I did theater through high school, through college. I did community theater. I still do community theater every now and then when I get the chance. I'm still doing performance. Obviously, I do burlesque and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, a well done story about actors, theater, has an appeal for me. Now, I do want to underline well done, because very often, you know, characters end up being caricatured, and you know, it's frustrating when something you identify with gets just done as a cliche. And while there is a certain amount of cliche on display in terms of, you know, the bitter actor, you know, who wants the stage all the time, the ambitious understudies and stuff, it's a little bit cliche, but it's also, you know, I connect with the roots of those cliches. Like I've seen that, and I've seen, you know, the inappropriate backstage figure. I've seen the grumpy stage manager. I've seen these things, and so even though they are a bit cliche, they ring a bit true to me. Now, does that mean anyone else should like it? No, because if you don't connect with the material inherently, you're probably going to be underwhelmed by this, because like I said, it is very predictable, especially if you know your Shakespeare at all, because they're doing the Scottish play, which, okay, I gotta force myself to say, they're doing Macbeth. So to show you how deep I am into having, you know, tried to make a go of it with acting, generally actors don't say the word Macbeth except in the play itself. They refer to it as the Scottish play because it is considered to be cursed, and if you say the word Macbeth under other circumstances, especially if you say it in a theater, then you bring down bad luck. It's right up there with saying good luck as opposed to saying break a leg, because actors are stupidly superstitious people. Theater people in general, really superstitious. You would not believe how many people are convinced their theaters are haunted. I would say most of them believe that, and most of them aren't. So, but I connect with all that, and it very much draws its structure from Macbeth, and it's very blatant about that. So again, if you know Macbeth, you know where this is going in terms of the dethroning of the king, the guy who steps up, pushed on by his love interest, and you know, it's all very familiar. But for the course of a half hour, I was enjoying it. Like if something like this got drawn out to feature length, like I've seen some reinterpretations of Shakespeare, both on the stage and in film, that sometimes work, but the ones that don't, usually it's because the gimmick for whatever angle they are approaching it from, because almost nobody does Shakespeare straight anymore, it has to hold up beyond the initial, oh, well, that's kind of clever. And for the full length of a play or a movie, it usually doesn't. If they haven't really, gotten in it and really worked the material well. So for something like this is a trivia. Oh, it's Macbeth, but it's backstage at the, like, that's a pretty basic gimmick, but it's a gimmick that works for the course of a half hour. And I mentioned the ending twist, so here's your plot spoiler warning if you haven't watched it already. The reveal that the person who has been secretly nudging him along in the background was the assistant to Tony, the actor who the understudy replaced. That wasn't bad. Because it was very telegraphed that it was going to be Laura, his fiancée, was the one. It's pretty obviously hinted that his drink was spiked and he didn't know, and so it's hinted that it's Laura. But the reveal that it was someone else was interesting, and I did figure it out a little bit before she said it, but not very far before, which is usually the sign of a decent twist. And that it's funny because it kind of plays into a fear that actors have. I don't know how much people like that actually exist, but definitely actors worry about people kind of latching on to them like that. And so it was, for something that's so embedded in theater, having the twist be, this fear made manifest of the obsessive fan, that worked for me. Again, I don't want to oversell it. It's probably, this will come in at my third favorite of the 5 that I've seen so far. So it's not amazing, but considering how much people were slagging it off prior to my watching it, no, enjoyed it. So that's my thoughts on Inside Number 9, The Understudy. What are your thoughts on it? Whatever they are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. There's all the stuff to do, whole bunch of buttons and links for stuff to check out. I've got a Patreon. So look if you're interested. So that'll about wrap it up, folks. Remember, you're the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned.